This is going to be a very quick review and tutorial on using the engineer's notebook. Okay, so the very quick reminder here is that we always have a heading at the top of the page. So I am just going to type here sample page, because we'll always have a heading. That heading should be near the top, centered, easy to read. This page is not continued. It is not continued, so I'm going to leave it blank, or I can put NA for not applicable. Then you would be putting your entry. So if I were, for example, designing a sign for a company, I could say sign for company A, front. So this would be the front of the sign. And then I may go ahead down here and I might want to draw the front of the sign. And when drawing things in the book, you do not need to use a ruler, because it's okay to have thumbnail sketches in the book, or just rough sketches. So here I would have the front of the sign. I might label that I want the sign to be 10 feet tall and 8 feet wide. And I may want on this sign a giant letter A, because it's company A. And I might put that this is going to be a yellow A with black background. Now, I'm out of room on this side of the page because I really need to add more information. Company A also wants information on the back of the sign. So I want to show them what the back of the sign would look like. But because I'm out of space here, and there's no more room for me to really put more, I'm going to go ahead and draw my horizontal line here on the last line that was written on. And then I'm going to draw an X. So remember that X's represents space that you are not using, but that you are still working for the day. And then this is continued on to page 8. And then I would put my signature and the date, and then someone else would witness, and they would put the same date, which indicates that they witnessed it. Then we would turn the page and we go to page 8. Now, as you can see here, we have page 8, and up here I'm going to put continued from page 7. We only use continued to and continued from if it is done on the same date. So these entries are both being made on the same date, so they are continued. It does not matter if it is related. So I could have a design for sign A on the page 6 or on page 7. On page 8, maybe I have information for another company. It's still continued because it's done on the same day. So on the back, maybe I put sample sign continued, and then I'm going to put back of sign, and I'm going to go ahead and really quickly redraw it again. Okay, I don't need to dimension it again because I already gave the dimensions. It's on the other page. So here I may put phone number. Here I may put Instagram, where they can be found on Instagram, the restaurant. And here I may put the hours. Okay, and I want that to be green fluorescent text on black background. Now here I have a whole bunch of space that I'm not using. So when we have space that is more than 3 lines, and is about 1/3 of the page or more in width, and I'm going to say this is about 1/3 of the page or more in width, we're going to fill that space with an X. that's made with a ruler. And if you remember why, the X represents space that is not being used. And we initial our X's. And what that represents is space that's not being used. It keeps us from being able to go back and add. You'll notice over here, I did not put an X. Even though it's more than 3 lines long, it's a very small space, so I'm not going to bother. Now, I'm done here for the day. I don't have anything else that I want to add, so I draw a horizontal line. And then I draw a single diagonal line. Single diagonal line with initials tells the reader that you are done for the day. There's no more entries for the day. So you sign and you're done. Witness, signature, and you're done. Now let's say you leave the office or you leave school or you leave class and it's still November the 2nd and you get home and you're like, oh my goodness, there's something else I want to add to my entry for the day. Well, you can never go back onto a page that has been signed and dated or that's had its lines drawn. But this diagonal line represents that we are done for the day, right? So how do we move on 11-2? How can I add more information over here? Simple. Remember, an X represents space we're not using, but we're still working. So now I have an X there. And now I can put continued on page 9. Here I can put continued from page 8. Sign information continued, and then maybe they tell me that they want it to be lit also. So light the sign and rotate 360 degrees on a free standing stand on roof of building. Okay, so the owner called me and said that they want the sign to rotate and they want it to light up. But now I really am done for the day. All right, I just wanted to add that so I wouldn't forget. So I go back to where I wrote last. I draw a horizontal line. And horizontal lines are just drawn to neatly separate information. So if I wanted to add something below that, like maybe below it, they called me back again and they said, oh, we want to use green LEDs. I would say, customer requests green LEDs and sign to be solar powered. Okay, so there, it's nice. The horizontal line gave me nice separation. Now I really think I am done for the day. Draw a horizontal line. Draw a single diagonal line all the way through. Initial it. It says I'm done for the day. Sign. Date. Witness signature and date. And I can either leave continued on blank, or again, I could put NA for not applicable because I'm not continuing. So please take note that all of the diagonal and horizontal lines are drawn using a ruler. Whenever you make a diagonal line, you initial it. Whenever you make an X, you initial it. You must have headings on all pages. You must have signatures and dates that match on all pages. Thanks for watching.